Majuba. We pay homage, it's the Illa Juba. We seek the great spirit's approval, manifesting the ancestral maneuver. As the Orishas move you, my child, let me speak to your spirit. You warriors calling a little louder, I want you to hear it. Just face it, don't fear it. Your mirror reflection, revere it. Shadow work, you will clear it. Just the seasons will change. You were called to rise. Open your eyes, realize, rearrange. It's not a game, press past through your pain. We are not mediocre nor mundane. You are great now, claim your new name. Break free from the chains. I just want you to see through and see true. See yourself as all of the mind sees. The God in you, manifest your breakthrough. Standing tall, seeing life from a bird's eye view. While manifesting your old dude. We keep it real. Real life and reveal. It's all in me, my destiny. I will find, follow, fulfill my destiny. I will find, follow, fulfill. Majuba, we pay homage, it's the Illa Juba. We seek the great spirit's approval, manifesting the ancestral maneuver. As the Orishas move you. We pay homage, it's the Illa Juba.
Aboro boy, this is Oluwa Fakola Day of Idinka Ifa Temple, and I want to say Ekaro, good morning, and Ekabo, welcome to our Ifa Temple service. So we are doing our Ifa Temple service. We do it every Sunday now. And I'm tapping in with you all live from McDonough, Georgia. So if you are in the Atlanta and or McDonough, Georgia area, please tap in with us. So before we begin, let us start with prayer before we start this process. All right. Mojuba to my parents, my elders, Baba Robert Edmonds, Mojuba, Mojuba to my Baba Ifa, Solagba de Popola, Mojuba, Irawo Ifa, Oluwa, Mojuba, Oluwo, Bola, Ifa, please come to our support, come to our rescue, help us to reach in and tap in to this Ifa this morning. Ajogbe, Ifa says that it is a gradual process. I say that it is a gradual process. Where is the rat of yesternight? That poor rat of yesternight is still alive. Let her continue to suffer. Let her continue to experience want. She will soon become great. She will soon become prominent. She will soon become Toro Fini, the leader among all rats. We have made Toro Fini the leader now. All rats, you come and pay your tributes. All rat. Ifa says it is a gradual process. I say it is a gradual process. Where is the poor fish of yesternight? The poor fish of yesternight is still alive. Let her continue to suffer. Let her continue to experience want. She will soon become great. She will soon become prominent. She will soon become Agagba, the leader among all fish. We have made Akagba the leader among all fish. Come and pay your tribute, all fish. Ifa says it is a gradual process. I say it is a gradual process. Where is the poor bird of yesternight? That poor bird is still alive. Let her continue to suffer. Let her continue to experience want. She will soon become great. She will soon become prominent. She will soon become known as Okini Nini, the leader among all birds. We have made Okin the leader among all birds. Come and pay your tribute, all birds. Ifa says it's a gradual process. I say it is a gradual process. Where is the poor beast of yesternight? The beast of yesternight is still alive. Let her continue to experience want. Let her continue to experience challenges. Soon she will become known as what is great and prominent. Soon she will be known as Kiniyun Nini, the leader among all beasts. We have made Kiniyun the leader among all beasts. All beasts, come now and pay your tribute. Ifa says it is a gradual process. I say it is a gradual process. Where is the poor man of yesternight? The poor man of yesternight is still alive. Let him continue to suffer. Let him continue to experience want. He will soon become great. He will soon become prominent. He will soon become known as Okambi, the leader among all humans. We have made Okambi the leader of all humans. Come and pay your tribute, all humans. Ifa, at this time, we know that sometimes it takes a while. Help us to understand that the process of our challenges, the suffering that we experience is not in vain. Help us to stay in the game. Help us to stay in the process. Ifa, we ask that you will continue to ward off all death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, controversies, ward off fights, litigation, losses in our life, fights from us, and bring forth to us long life, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, joy, healing, victory, and all good things of life. Ifa, we ask that you would move any negative energy that I may have, move it out of the way, move my ego out of the way so that we can hear words of good Ifa. Ifa, please support us today. We call on you. We call on Oshe Aruela. Tiny of the feet of two the stripe of a communion is not big enough for you to take it. Had it been enough for you to take it, I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it. Easy 5 declarations to Aruela. We're going on a spiritual mission to Ijebulin. We're calling locals and send pay money. Consult and make rich. We're calling Aruela with respect. Oshe Aruela is a good war. Oshe Tra. Ekekini Bagisa. The abstract sharply against a tree. Cassie far for Rumila. When he received Iba and Ashe from Oludamari. If in our world tells you you should be wealthy, you should surely be wealthy. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an orange, I keep on in the mouth of an owl. If no shall have victory, surely have victory. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an owl, I keep on in the mouth of an owl. If an owl tells you you shall have joy, you shall surely have joy. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an I keep on in the mouth of an owl. If no one tells you have all evil in life, you surely have all evil in life. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an owl, I keep on in the mouth of an owl. Let's see, maybe so. Surely shall it be. Àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìlú mo lè ó bà. Ìfá ó pa o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Àṣẹ òrìṣà. Bí mo dúró, tí mo súre, bí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀, tí mo súre, bí mo kúnlẹ̀, tí mo súre, bí mo dọ̀kọ́, tí mo súre. Ire tí mo sùn orí ti bọ́. Orí ẹni làrúra ìyá ni ọ̀. Orí ẹni làrúra ìyá ni. Mọ́jú lómi ò fà wá mọ́rí. Orí ẹni làrúra ìyá ni. Àṣẹ o. Bobore Chazu, Ifa Oba Lorun, Atibatiaju, Ifa Oba Lorun, Oshe Aru Ila Ifatibo. Olodumare and the divinities, we thank you for life. We thank you for health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We thank you for supporting us. Be our supporters today. Help us as we find, follow, and fulfill our destiny. Ward off all the ajobu from us. God, direct and protect and keep us safe. Healthy, keep us whole. Help us to hear good words of Ifa today. Help us to hear good Ifa verses, solid analysis. Ashe, aboru, aboye, abo, shishe, aboto. Thank you so much, y'all, for joining us again today. Once again, this is Oluwo Fakola Dev Idinkai Fa Temple, and we want to welcome you to our Ile Juba Ifa Temple service. Today is going to be a very interesting sermon, so I want folks to, pay close attention, and take note. We're going to touch upon some very interesting and potentially controversial subjects. So brace yourselves. Ashe, Ashe. So when we think of today, metaphorically, there is a sound beating across the world, across the nation right now, a drum, if you will. And some people think they are the ones beating that drum. But Ifa is going to show us something different and something even more terrifying. Sometimes the drum that we're hearing is made from your own skin. It's made from your own children's skin. This morning, we're going to talk about conspiracies. We're going to talk about betrayal, hidden enemies, secret societies, and what happens when evil systems begin to collapse on themselves. Because Ifa has already warned us. Let's begin. Ogbeyeku. Ifa says, Ogbeyeku is the father of all combinations. Longevity is the father of Edan. Torrent is the father of rainfall. They were the ones who cast Ifa for Olokosulalu, the offspring of he who understands. Egun language perfectly, but refuses to speak it. Offspring of he who uses plenty of pebbles to conquer his enemies. Offspring of he who uses dewdrops to disperse conspiracy. In this Ifa, the enemies of Shango were conspiring against him. They wanted to completely destroy him. So Shango went for Ifa consultation. And the Babalawo told him that he would destroy his enemies. He was advised to offer Ebo, and after the Ebo and the feeding, the Akunlebo, everything would be placed in the open, like placed out in the open for 7 days. When all of this was done, on the 8th day, while Shango's enemies had gathered to ensnare him, all of a sudden, thunder struck. And many of his enemies were unalive. The others who survived ran helter-skelter. And those survivors rushed to Shango and they told him, "Oh, we were never part of the plot to kill you." Funny how people lose their memory when thunder strikes. Everybody wants to be brave in their meeting, but no one is brave in the midst of the lightning. In this Odu conspiracy has a self-destruct button, folks. It's got a self-destruction button built into it. When evil people gather, they think they're planning their victory, but heaven is taking their attendance. When they conspire against you, they're only clouding their own destruction. They're only rushing to it. When we think of this, Ifa, Shango followed what Ifa said. And in that process, the enemies that he knew he had, but he didn't know who they were revealed. It's very interesting and important to hear that Ifa asked him to offer a bow, offer a kunabo, and then put it all out in the open. That is symbolic of essentially turning the lights on. Sometimes we need to offer our ebo out in the open. Sometimes we need to do what we do in the open of our own domicile. We don't need to be ashamed of what we're doing because what we're doing is protection for us. And what that will reveal oftentimes is those individuals who are hidden destroy you. Ifa says in Oberosun, if we hear bomu bomu, the fearful sound of Orokot in the forest, human beings are responsible for it. That was the Babalawo who cast Ifa for Orunmila, whose destiny was being hindered by Osu Ngagaga. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Before long, behold us where we use power of sacrifice to overcome our adversaries. In this Odu, Orunmila was being blocked at every angle. No matter how much Orunmila tried to succeed, he kept on failing. So he went to one of his own Omoawo to cast Ifa, and the Odu Ifa Ogbeerosun was revealed. Orunmila was then told that all of his endeavors were being blocked and stopped by someone very close to him. Ifa would identify these individuals, these hidden enemies. Orunmila was advised to offer Ebo, and he complied. After the Ebo, Orunmila himself was asked to take the Ebo to the base of an Iroko tree. He was also told to hide somewhere close by and wait for some time before he left and look out as to where this Ebo went. Orunmila did all that Ifa had asked him and all that the Babalao told him to do. And as Orunmila waited in the wings, he saw one of his own family members, Osu Gagaga, the person who lived inside his own home. And Osu Gagaga was coming to carry the Ebo that would elevate Orunmila. He was coming to carry that Ebo away and destroy it, so Orunmila would still be blocked. And in the midst, Orunmila caught Osu red-handed. And in the process, his own family member was put to shame for blocking him. The person blocking Orunmila was not in another city. The person blocking him had keys to the house. Osu Gaga then vowed never to do that again. And as a result, Osu Gagaga became Orunmila's very, very, very close friend. Ifa revealed someone close is sabotaging him. Now, sometimes the drum, the metaphorical drum we're talking about, is not outside. Sometimes it's inside the house. Sometimes the enemy isn't attacking you. That enemy is studying you. The person sabotaging destiny Sometimes they eat at the same table. They sleep under the same roof. Sometimes the skin used to make the drum is in your own family. Orumila's progress kept failing, and the problem was not outside. It was something inside the house. The saboteur was caught red-handed. Let's take this point. Not every attack is external. Some enemies share your address. Proximity does not always mean loyalty. If your progress keeps collapsing, check who benefits from your delays. This third story is more disturbing because this one is not about enemies outside. It's not about enemies in the house. This story is about systems. Systems that consume the innocent. Let's analyze it. Ifa says in Ogbe Wegun, Ogbe Wori, a confusing tongue speaks confusing. A tricky speech sounds trickish. The greeting of the Egba has monetary connotation. Hello, child of fish is what they say in Ketu. Kun Oke is that of what they say in Ijesa. This was the Babalao Orumila, was the Babalao of Abi, who was going to cast Ifa for Abi when going to meet where they kill and eat their own children. She was advised to offer a bow. She complied. Now Abi provided the money for the feast. Abi provided the drum. Abi was the one who provided the skin with which the drum we are beating was made. Ifa is saying something very powerful here. One, a confusing tongue sounds confusing. A trickish speech sounds trickish. The greeting of Egba has monetary connotation. First of all, tricky speech, right? Confusing tongue. Does that sound familiar, folks? Very interesting. When we think of this Ifa, this is not about just cannibalism. This is about how systems consume the innocent and the people who fund those systems. Ifa is very powerful because when we think of what's coming up today in these Epstein files and all of these challenging issues of higher ups and the elites of the community, Ifa is not antiquated. Ifa has a word for all of these things. The story of this Ogbe Wori, Ifa says, Abi, a woman, was going to join a women's organization. And these were progressive women, upperly mobile and progressive women in her community. And they were only women who also had children. Those were the only kind of women who could join. These women would also help Abi to elevate her life, her situation. They would network with her and help her to get jobs. But these women would always meet at the darkest part of the night. They would always meet at the 3-road crossroad. And they would always meet between the hours of 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. These meetings would rotate members' homes or home areas. Each member would provide and serve drinks, and they would slaughter their own children, cook the children, and use the child's skin as the drum. They would beat the drum until the skins broke. Abi was completely unaware of all these things, but she was excited to be involved in the group. Point number 2 or 3. Sometimes you can sit at a table and not know what the table is built for. Abi sat at a table and a table of ignorance. It became Abi's turn to host the meeting, and she was then given all of the requirements. And when she was told all of the requirements for the meeting, one, you have to provide the drinks, you got to provide the food, you have to slaughter your own child, cook your child, prepare them, and then make a skin out of your child's own, make a drum out of your child's own skin. Abi was mortified. She was frightened. She protested a bit. And then the women said, how can you protest when you ate our own children too? Abi went for Ifa consultation immediately. She told Orunmila about the issue. And Orunmila told her, one, you need to check the company. You need to check who you hang out with, investigate the groups you with. He also told her, offer ebo with 1 he-goat, and then prepare the he-goat like normal. Use the skin as part of the drum. So she did this and prepared the goat skin, made the drum, served it, did everything according to plan. The only hitch was she did not use her child. The women got together and then they would beat the drum. Remember, they beat the drum until the skin broke. And they beat, boom, 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 and they're beating the drum, boom, 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 boom. And they're beating the drum. And human skin is a little bit more tender, well, a lot of bit more tender than goat skin. And so they're beating the drum. And they kept beating the drum. And they're beating the drum and they're realizing, okay, this skin is not tearing. They keep beating the drum, And as they were beating the drum, the sun started to rise. The sun was exposing them. And it is taboo for those types of individuals to meet in the daylight. It's taboo for them to meet when the lights are on. It's taboo for them to meet outside of the darkness. But what is done in the dark will be revealed in the light. And that was the way Abi got out of serving her own children up for slaughter. Some people think danger is enemies. But in this case, the real danger for Abi was her own ignorance. Let's talk of this point. Number 1B, be careful who you keep as company. Sometimes the negativity is difficult to see because you're too close. Abi's problem was not clear about the women who were in her group. She didn't know exactly the nature of these folks. She was also not clear about the purpose of this group. She was shocked and surprised by the true nature of her friend group when it was revealed. She thought she knew these women. Be careful who you trust. These celebrities we see on TV, don't be fooled because you think you know them. Oh, I want a life like them. Goals, right? Investigate so you know what you are getting into. Investigate so you know who you are trying to emulate. Investigate so you know who you are getting to know. The next point is when speech is crooked, the system is crooked. Ifa says in this verse, a confusing tongue speaks confusingly. A trickish speech sounds trickish. Ogbewori teaches us that corruption announces itself in language first. Before there's a scandal, before there is upheaval, before there's documents, before there's files, before there's pictures, it shows up in vague answers. It shows up in controlled narratives, legal gymnastics, strategic silences. Ifa says, crooked speech reveals crooked intention. When powerful men speak in riddles instead of clarity, it is because clarity would expose guilt. If your language needs lawyers to translate it, your conscience is already guilty. The next point, you cannot fund darkness and escape the drum. Abi did something terrifying. She feasted on other people's children as well, unknowingly, but still, she funded her own feast, paid for the ritual, provided the drum, used the skin of a goat this time. But the key here is she too participated out of ignorance and unknowing. When the elites protect predators, they fund exploitation, they trade innocence for power, they use influence to silence victims. They become and they believe that they are untouchable. Ogbewori says the system you finance will eventually reveal you. The files, the exposure, the public unraveling. That is the drum beating. But if we help build the machine, don't cry when the machine runs over us. The next point, evil systems eat children first. This verse says, when she was going to the meeting where the people kill and eat their children, in Ifa, eating these children is both literal and symbolic. It means sacrificing the future for your appetite. It means consuming the innocent for pleasure. It means destroying the next generation to protect power. Any society that protects predators, silences victims, shields wealth over truth is spiritually eating its own children. In the song, America Eats Its Young by Parliament Funkadelic, the great grand George Clinton states, who would sacrifice the great grandsons and daughters of her jealous mother by sucking their brain until their ability to think was amputated? Whoa, let's just pause right there. That is a bar. I hope if one thing this Ifa will teach you is to listen to some Parliament. They got some gems. Ifa is saying the same thing. Ifa says that such a society that does this will collapse eventually. That's what we're witnessing today. Ifa says perform truth. Ifa says perform righteousness. Ifa says perform kindness. But power without righteousness becomes predatory. Wealth without character becomes destructive. Access without morality becomes dangerous. And when the elites protect elites, the earth will respond. Ifa teaches us that the universe corrects imbalance. You can't hide behind your wealth. You can't hide behind your titles. You can't hide behind your influence. You can't hide behind your fake reputation. But Ifa is telling us something even more terrifying. In closing, I want you to ask yourselves, where are we funding dysfunction? Do we protect abusers in our community? Do we excuse evil because someone has power? Do we silence victims because the offender is influential? This Odu is not about one scandal, it's about moral order. You cannot eat the future and expect peace, folks. You cannot protect predators and expect stability. You cannot build power on exploitation and expect legacy. Ifa says the drum you hear may be made from your own skin, or your children's skin, or your children's children's skin. And when the files open, it's not about revenge, y'all. It is cosmic balance. In closing, you can build the drum, you can beat the drum, but if the skin is yours, the sound will eventually expose you. Because when the drum begins to beat, it's already too late. Aboru Aboye, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. I want to communicate with the folks in the chat. I've been managing the chat as well. I want to interact. Aboru Aboye to Fadeke, good to see you there. Ed Cairo to you. Sanera Shechem, excuse me. Aboru Aboye to you. Thank you, Ed Cairo. Natural, thank you. And Malachi, good to see you on here. Story support, good to see you. Thank you all for joining us here today. Everybody in TikTok land and Instagram land, thank you. Also, happy new month. Happy new month to everyone. All right. So I appreciate you tapping in with us today. A couple of announcements. We're doing Omawo program. If you are interested in learning about Ifa priesthood and the process of being a priest, we're doing Omawo classes. We have the Omawo program. So if you're interested in learning, you can do that. Also, if you enjoy what we're doing and you want the ministry to continue on, you can make donations. The donation is, I would just say, donate to use the PayPal, because right now the Cash App is down. So the PayPal's on there. PayPal at alafose@yahoo.com. This will help us continue the process, continue to serve the community. Also, we're here in McDonough, Georgia. If you are interested, if you are in the area of Atlanta, we're about 30 to 40 minutes from Atlanta. So if you are in the area, tap in with us and, join and learn. If you'd like to be a member of Idinka Ifa Temple, the membership is on the website. The website is www.idinkaifatemple.com. Also, if you would like to connect with us, the phone number is 323-244-1133. Thank you so very much for joining us. All right, so let us conclude with, before we conclude with prayer, today is the first. Happy new month. Today is the first. Every first of the month, we feed Eshu. So we'll be feeding Eshu today. As soon as I get off the live, I'm preparing to do our monthly feeding. If you all want to be involved with the monthly feeding of Eshu, communicate with me. It's going to start, we're going to start the feeding at probably about 12 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're interested, please let us know and you can participate. So we do that every month, y'all. Every month we feed, every month we feed Eshu, and we'll be doing that on the 1st. So we're doing that today. With that, let us close. All right, Olodumare, we thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We thank you for supporting us in this process of unveiling truth and turning the lights on in dark places. Help us to do things in the dark that we would do in the light. Only good things at all times. Ifa, help transparency to be the rule of the day. Help us to have actions that line up with thoughts and thoughts that line up with deeds, and support us. Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Aboto, we thank you and thank Olodumare. We'll see you soon.